to admit that we are angry. It is actually a necessary part of the process. It's not a bad stage. It's not a bad emotion. It's one of the easier emotions that we can experience. That anger gives you a little bit of that sense of control. We're all justified to feel that anger and to project it out to go through the stage of anger, to allow yourself to feel the anger of intense fear, of uncertainty, of the complete unknown, of Okay, so the second stage is anger. And what is interesting about this stage is that it's actually a necessary stage. Although it's not a cool, thing to talk about, it doesn't make us feel good to admit that we are angry and that we are experiencing anger. It is actually a necessary part of the process. So in order to get to the acceptance, which I have alluded to as being the last stage, we have to go through anger in one way or another. And that doesn't mean it has to be, the extreme kind of anger. And it is important that we don't get stuck in anger either. So I want to talk about a few things here about the emotion of anger. And I want you to know, number one, it's not a bad stage. It's not a bad emotion. It's a necessary emotion, but you don't want to get stuck in it. Because if you get stuck in it, then you don't move through the other deeper emotions. Because anger is one of the easier emotions that we can experience. Although it's not accepted in our society, and maybe you grew up in a family that you weren't allowed to feel anger, it still is one of the easier emotions to experience than the deeper emotions of shame, of guilt, of fear, of pain. So what I just said is anger is actually, if we go deeper, if we can look what's underneath the layer of anger, we find that usually is one of these other emotions I just mentioned. So what anger is hiding is pain, is fear, is guilt, is a feeling of, complete powerlessness and helplessness and despair, and perhaps even deep sense of depression and loss. So the anger, though, before we go into these deeper emotions, although I did mention them, the anger, what it does, it makes us feel a little bit more in control. In a situation where there is this loss, there's this every plan we've had, every event anything that we knew the way we knew it before in our routines, and everything we were doing is being disrupted. So we feel completely out of control. And not only our lives have been turned upside down, also we have this threat and this constant fear of, what if I contract the virus? Or if I did contract it, am I going to make it? Am I going to be okay? And am I going to, impact other people? Am I going to, make a mistake and pass it on to my loved ones or to my community? So there's this constant state of feeling uncertainty, out of control, feeling we cannot really be in charge of anything at this point. We feel so powerless. Well, what anger does is it makes us feel a little bit more in control. It makes us feel a little bit more that I have some power in me and I can target it towards something. So think about yourself and, if you experienced some of these emotions of anger, where were they targeted towards? It could be that you got upset with China and the way they handled the virus. Maybe you are upset with the doctors, or maybe you're upset with our politicians. Maybe you're upset with the way other countries have handled this, or maybe you're upset with the whole believing in that this is a conspiracy theory. Maybe you are angry at your own body. Maybe you're angry at your spouse, and now especially that we're all forced to be locked down inside the house with our family. There's no escape. We can't go do anything outside of the house. So we really have to face all our problems and everything that happens in our families, which I will have a few more videos talking about ways to really handle these kinds of issues that are coming up. But back to our topic here, maybe you're seeing yourself getting angry at your kids, at your spouse, at your roommates. Maybe you're seeing yourself getting angry at God, at life, at the universe. Why is this happening to me? Why, I had all these plans, I had all these savings, I was, I needed my job. Maybe you're mad at your employee, your employer, and how they, they're treating you in this process, and they're not able to support you. It could be targeted at anything and anybody, and including God, including the universe, including, a power that's above you, feeling like, why are they, or God is not doing anything to get us out of this or to protect us from this. While this is a whole separate discussion, that I might do some videos on a little bit of those deeper spirituality concepts. For the purposes of this video, I do want you to just look at that anger. Don't judge it. Don't be like, well, I shouldn't be angry at God, or I shouldn't be angry at my spouse, or I shouldn't be angry at, this and that. But try not to shoot yourself. Try to just notice that anger and see that anger gives you a little bit of that sense of control. It gives you that sense of power, because now you have a specific target that you're upset with, that you're angry about. The news, they really reinforce that anger in us. They really make us feel like, they really reinforce the fear and the anxiety, but they also reinforce that sense of blame, that it's because of this person not making the right call or the right decision, or, whatever it is that's going on around us right now. There's so many different things that we can point our fingers at and say that it's because of that or because of that. And while that is justified, to a certain degree, we're all justified to feel that anger and to project it out to certain people, certain countries, certain situations, certain decisions. At the same time, we do want to look a little bit deeper. We do want to look at the fact that if we stay stuck in that anger, and we don't look deeper, then it is going to take a toll on ourselves. It is going to take a toll on our families if we are just stuck in that place of anger. So while I said, it is very important to go through the stage of anger, to allow yourself to feel the anger, to journal about it, to express the anger in a safe way to your therapist or to your coach or to your friends or to your family, if it's something that they can support you with without feeling like you're projecting it onto them. So do express that anger in a safe way as much as possible. And if it comes out in ways that you're not proud of, then reflect on it, journal about it, and then try to look a little bit deeper. Try to look at what is beneath that anger. And like I mentioned earlier, there are those deeper feelings of intense fear, of uncertainty, of the complete unknown, of pain, of loss, of guilt, and other different feelings. So that was anger. And next we're going to move on to bargaining.